Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutally Honest Reviews. I am Bobby. This is Evan.
What's up? Just a casual
This is Rob.
eye graze.
Hey, how's it going?
This is Justin.
Sometimes I'm Justin. How you doing?
What are you other times?
Sometimes I'm a velociraptor.
Ooh. They weren't anything like they were in Jurassic Park.
Not even a little bit. I'm way more badass.
I like it. Moving on. Today we're going to review Rampage, directed by someone who I can't even remember.
Brad
Paisley?
Brad Paisley.
Brad Paisley.
That's
Brad
why the movie sucks.
Payton.
Brad Payton. All right, let's just go around real quick. Evan, just give me your synopsis of what you thought on the movie. Who cares about spoiler? Who cares?
So
Just-
my
just say
thoughts
whatever.
on the movie,
can't
not
spoil
the synopsis, because you're the best at the synopsis.
Okay, give me your thoughts on the movie.
All right, so my thoughts on Rampage is, well, first of all, if anybody's played the 2D side-scroller, like from way, way back, that's my shit. This movie was, 2D side-scroller making this into a movie, I wasn't really expecting much, but The Rock's attached, so, like, obviously it's going to be amazing. So, yeah, that's my initial synopsis till we go into it.
So you thought it was amazing?
No, I didn't think it was amazing. That was sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
Like, obviously,
That
it
was some
wasn't
good
great.
sarcasm.
It's based on a 2D side scroller with The Rock as the lead, but also The Rock is the lead, so you know they put The Rock in there because the writing wasn't good.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Rob.
It's a movie. To start off, I mean, The Rock's in it. Without him, it would have been virtually unwatchable. But, I mean, yeah, there you go.
All right, Justin.
I didn't know really what this was until we saw it last week. I think it's really good from what it was to what it is. And it was this 2D side-scrolling plotless piece of... Oh, wait, no, that's just the movie. Damn. It's really boring.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
just-
I'll fall. There were some aspects of this movie that I thought were good, like the special effects. I thought the gorilla looked good. I thought he looked pretty good. There were some, like the scene with the alligator swimming through the water. I thought it looked super fake. Like the water coming up, I was just like, that's fake. But when it mattered, I thought that the special effects actually looked decent. Like I thought the animals and the explosion and everything like that, it looked decent. I could tell it was fake when he fist pumped the gorilla. I'm like, you're not touching that damn gorilla. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really touching him. But I thought that aspect of it was good. I mean, Evan, you said it. The writing is just bad. And a lot of times I'd be like, oh, the delivery of that line was bad. It wasn't the actors. It was the writing. The writing was just bad. And there was a lot of lines that just didn't need to be there. They should have just not been, like when The Rock walks away and the guy goes, "Man, women love him." I'm like, people don't say that. Don't say things like that. But what I really want to know is, so obviously this is based on the arcade game, which I think all of us have played at least a couple points of it in our lives. And the point was just to destroy the city as much as you could, and not get killed by the military, the police, and whatever.
So there was like an actual like military subplot that they played in like little like bars of dialogue in the game. But like to actually call that a storyline was pretty loose. So
Yeah.
like they came into this movie, they could have made it good. They could have. There's no guidelines that they really were gonna upset fans. Like I doubt there's any Rampage fans like with their Super Nintendo who are screaming at The Rock and his delivery for his lines and saying it's not like the game. It's supposed to be serious. This
Yeah.
is serious catastrophe. I don't think so.
No. And that brings me to a good point. Movies do this often. When movies are called Rampage, when movies are called Godzilla, when movies are called Pacific Rim, when they're called Transformers, they end up not being about the thing that it says it's going to be about. Like if you go and watch the newest Godzilla movie, it's not about Godzilla. I don't care about you and the dynamic with your father. You watch Transformers, I don't care about you and your daughter. Like I don't, some movie franchise that I think did this actually really well was the new Planet of the Apes trilogy. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's some of my favorite cinema as of late, like recent cinema trilogies. They did such a great job because they call it Planet of the Apes, and it is. There's no stupid bullshit subplot that you don't care about. And they pull it off. Everyone feels that movies need to have this human element in order to attract fans, and I simply don't think that's true. Maybe for mass appeal, I guess, but I don't know. So, Rob, in terms of creating a human element plot out of virtually nothing, do you think it was handled well? Do you think it could have been better? Do you think it was the best of a crappy situation? What did you think of strictly the human element of the story?
There's kind of like a few separate storylines going on with the two villains, the brother and sister. Awful. The brother he may have been the worst actor of the year. He reminded me of the kid from that movie Blank Check, but grew up. That's pretty bad. Just really weird. And then they brought in that whole storyline with the doctor and her brother, how he was killed. That's her motive for revenge on this whole thing. They really tried to force the human element into this movie, where it really wasn't needed at all.
Yeah. So we find out that I forget every character's name in this one. Oh, what was The Rock? His name was Davis.
Okay.
That's a badass name. What did they call him? What was it? His last name?
Okioi.
Okioi? It doesn't sound right.
Okay. Oye.
Okoye. When they were like,
I'm
Mr.
ignorant.
Okoye, I was like, that's a cool name, Okoye. Like, it just sounds like, I don't know, some sort of anime superhero. Like, Okoye is coming. I just thought it was cool. I every time they said, hey, Mr. Okoye, I was just like, badass name. Just every time.
His sidekick was exhausting, though.
The woman?
No, the bald Wolf of Wall Street guy.
Oh, and like just the first 10 minutes of the movie?
Yeah, I got really excited.
Yeah, damn, women love him. I should shave my head. I'm like, don't say anything. Yeah. Just say I should shave my head, and the audience can infer what you meant, you know? And again, I don't like things on the nose. We get that The Rock is in your movie. You don't have to have a line in there being like, he clearly likes going to the gym. Like, we get it, he's The Rock. I don't need that. Everybody understands The Rock goes to the gym. I don't need crappy dialogue inside of the movie.
I said the same thing. I said the same exact thing to Taylor during that movie. I said that this is exactly what I don't like in movies, and this is exactly what we talk about all the time. It's just unnecessary dialogue, setting up things that we obviously know. Mm-hmm. Like, just things like that. I know it's like The Rock. I can't tell if they were doing it to be like
meta.
Yeah. Or to just be like to maybe make... Like, I don't know if like at some point when they got to the editing room, they were like, this movie really does suck. We should just make it tongue-in-cheek. Because part of it was like, are they tongue-in-cheek or are they not? And then it just wasn't working for me, so I was kind of like lost and confused.
Yeah. So everyone's seen the War for the Planet of the Apes, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So I am very used to CGI apes, which I think in that trilogy is some of the best special effects I've seen in cinema. That's a bold statement, but I'll say it. I look at Caesar and I look at all those other animals and I'm just like, I forget they're a special effect. I get attached to them as a character, which is, I think is really important. And I loved the sign language aspect of it. And The Rock did like two things. He was like, it's okay. I'm like, is every conversation he had with them, every single one, it was, it's okay. It's okay. I'm like, really didn't prepare for this role, did you there? Like, one thing. And he just kept doing this same thing over and over again. Protect. Family. It's me. It's okay. It's me. It's okay. I'm like, Jesus, can you say something else? And the ape had such a whack. Justin, what did you think of the ape's sense of humor? Like, he did some things that I really wasn't expecting.
I thought, I'm just gonna jump right to the end. I thought he was dead for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then I should have expected him not to be dead because the entire movie, he just completely fucks with this dude. And it's wild. And I just should have expected at the end, but for the most part, like their sarcasm was pretty mint. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, you
I thought it was like a nice. That was the only two character interactions. Well, no, I want to talk about Negan in a bit. Good old Negan. That was his name in the movie.
right.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. That dude. People can't. He's Negan on The Walking Dead, but he was the sheriff guy.
Okay.
He was Negan in this movie too,
He
because I
was.
read about that. I read that people thought that he brought Negan into this performance. It's the same character.
Is that just him? I mean, like watching, I was like, he's like John Wayne mixed with Pirates of the Caribbean Johnny Depp.
Well, he plays in Supernatural. He's the dad.
Yeah,
That's what my sister said.
yeah.
But he's not the same character, right?
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I liked him.
I loved him.
I thought he was the best part of the movie. I like. Thanks for getting this old cowboy out of that plane. I'm like, why do I like you? I don't know why I like you. I think you're just fun. And he was like, what does he say? Like my grandpappy always said, those assholes got to stick together. I was like, I like you. I don't know why. I just like you. I think you're cool. But yeah, so the flip off thing you liked. Wasn't George? You liked when George was giving him the finger a couple times?
I definitely. Most of those jokes grew real wary by 2/3 through the movie.
I mean, he only did it in the beginning, like the first couple minutes, and then once at the end.
That one flip off in the beginning, but like their back and forth humor throughout the middle of it.
What are you talking about exactly? Through the middle of it.
I truly can't remember the middle of this movie.
It's pretty forgettable.
In this
pretty
moment.
forgettable. I don't think it's your fault.
So for the start, I was interested. Then they started to like go down this path of what should have been character development that didn't need to exist, but then still did it anyway. And I didn't care because I knew what this was going to be about. So I just went, I'm off, done. Like I don't care until we get to something destroying something, which was the third act. If it's the final act, like the third act was the end. That's all that mattered.
Well, we find out what's up, Justin.
I know.
I'm sorry, Evan.
It's okay. It's okay.
You hates me today.
I know you said you like good CGI,
Yeah.
and the CGI was relatively decent.
Yeah.
What about that wolf? Can we talk about that wolf for a second?
The wolf was. I'm talking about the ape. The ape looked good. I thought the ape was really well done. And I think it makes sense that it looks really good because they're so human-like, and they could do motion capture. I think. I don't know if you can do motion capture for a wolf. I'm not really sure how it works, but
Bad. That was the only one.
it was. I don't know if the CGI was bad. I feel like just the design, like it looked so not like a wolf. Like, what's Rob's got something to say right now.
It wasn't a wolf.
It wasn't.
The ape was the only thing that was a giant animal.
Yeah.
The other two were hybrids. The wolf was a wolf. It was a flying squirrel. Just a whole bunch of things mixed
porcupine.
together. Yes, a porcupine.
Yeah.
The alligator was a snapping turtle, a warthog, and an alligator put together. And then you got George. He's just an ape. He's just a big ape.
Yeah.
Was that because of the different genes?
Yeah, but why make George the only regular big animal and the other two hybrids?
I thought they didn't explain it very well. They just kind of were like, here's the giant ape, and here's this goddamn abomination, and then, oh, here's a wolf that can fly, but only when convenient.
I mean, fine. Like, if your wolf can fly, fine. I don't mind that. I also thought it was weird. I'm just like, so George is huge. Not nearly as huge as the other ones. He looked like a baby compared to the other two animals. The wolf didn't look like a wolf. Its face was super cartoonish. But I do gotta say, there was this one scene where it took one of like the pin quills on its tail and shot it by whipping its tail, and it went into a helicopter. I was like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And I'm not. And again, like the character development and like explaining, I don't care. Just make the action good. But did you see, like, has everyone followed the ad campaign, like seen the trailers for the movie?
Nope.
No.
Most of the best action scenes are in this trailer, which is something that I know it works, it gets people in the theater,
Yeah.
but it's just something that I really hate, mostly because I love the art of trailers. I think trailers themselves are actually really cool. Like, for me, trailers are more than just like getting me hyped to see a movie. when I see a good, like a well-made trailer, I'm like, wow, like it's as satisfying as a good movie. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, this is just one of those movies that showed you a lot of like the really cool spectacle to get you in there, and then you go expecting way more. That's what it, like Civil War did that. Where I thought they did that, where they showed a bunch of really cool action. I'm like, save some. And then they were like, you think we showed you stuff? We showed you like 5% of the cool stuff. And that's what I thought something like this was going to do, where we were going to see some really crazy fight scenes between George and the other two monsters. But we didn't.
Personally, I wish that, and I know they wouldn't have done this, but like, if you played the 2D side scroller, it's really fun because you're just a monster along these other two monsters, and you just climb up buildings and like you ground and pound buildings until they fall down. You can reach into windows and smash the glass and pull out like an ice cream cone or something.
Yeah.
Like it's so random. Like I just wish that they just went so over the top with this, because that's what like people would really want to see. I feel like I don't know. I mean, maybe it did well in theaters because like the Transformers craze, but like I really wish they just went like straight video game. Like even kind of, I wish they kind of brought maybe a Ready Player One element to it. Like I really wish old games like that, you could get some of that old magic that makes no sense. But
yeah, I mean, it's good.
know,
that game was good because it was ridiculous and over the top. I feel like in an adaptation like this, that is how you succeed. You got to know that if you're gonna make a movie based on an arcade video game that was just about smashing a city, you're not gonna make a masterpiece. And if you want to make a masterpiece, make a masterpiece. But just make sure the action is there. And I know we're talking about the third act. Let's try to. There's not really much else to talk about, but let's try to rein it back. We start off.
Go on.
Sorry, I thought you had something to say.
I did, but you're going on this new path, so just go down this path.
This brand new path. You know, we're going together.
As a family?
As a family. Family. It's okay.
Okay, Ohana, turn it down.
It's me.
Jesus, I don't need this.
So, we open with them going through the jungle, and clearly they have some. The Rock has some students that are learning how to deal with wildlife and blah blah blah. And we get a little bit of foreshadowing, being like, "Hey, this is whatever his name is. His family was killed by poachers. I need you to protect him. I need you. We're all a family." And then that kind of ended up being exactly what he needed to do at the end. We're all a family. I need you to protect and save the city.
But I just realized, and I didn't realize this beforehand, they established that dynamic with that little gorilla, I forget his name, that we think is going to be relatively important to the story, or at least like a character that ends up having some kind of forward progression. But they kind of just tell this backstory to this little gorilla, and we never see him again. I remember watching the movie halfway through and going, whatever happened to that gorilla? I wonder if he's going to come back and save the day or something.
I thought he killed them all.
Oh, he might have, but they didn't show that. He killed a grizzly.
He killed a grizzly bear. I was under the impression that
he might have killed them all.
He killed all the gorillas.
They never just
You didn't
said
get
it.
that?
I don't think so. No.
No, Justin.
He broke out of the gorilla pen and killed the grizzly. So
What happened to anybody in the first couple scenes up until he met
the blonde that wanted to get a drink.
Dr. K. Caldwell?
Still thirsty.
Caldwell.
Still thirsty.
Her name's forgettable.
I don't know.
Everybody up till her, completely forgettable because they did not matter.
Well, they must have
Including
not. They
the
were just
gorilla.
like, you know what, this movie's not that good. You want to go? And then they were like, yeah, you want to go grab that drink I wanted to get with The Rock because he's trying to like save Chicago or something.
They ran out of money.
Yeah.
Too many
Didn't save him.
one-liners from The Rock.
He got, dude, that it's a big arm. Don't fight it. It's a big arm. Don't fight. Come on.
That was a good
we
one.
know you're The Rock.
I like that one. I like
You
that
don't
one.
have to talk about your arms being big. You're The Rock. We get it. You're ripped. I don't know, man. Like I don't need that. I don't need that. Like it would have been funny if someone else said it. Like, holy crap, this is a big arm. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't need The Rock telling me that his arms are big. I don't. I know.
Personally, I do.
I need that. I need that from my Rock movies.
I can second that. Like The Rock, his ad libs they definitely make this movie, because this movie's real dry if he wasn't just spewing shit out of his mouth every 5 seconds about
Oh yeah,
the
the
dumbest
movie would
things.
be yeah. I mean, I agree with that.
You could dislike all of his one-liners, but if they weren't there, that's subjective too. This movie didn't even need a plot. It really didn't. If you just showed 3 monsters destroying the whole city, I would have been like, that was worth the money movie pass paid.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much Cloverfield, whatever sequel, Paradox.
The space one.
Oh, we need to do a show on Paradox. Because I
Please-
disagree with
please
all
not.
of you.
We go to the scientific, the evil corporation with Miss Awful and Mr. Terrible, and my God, were they were just really cringy. They were just super cartoony, really cartoony.
She was bad, but he was the worst.
What
Like he
can that be
spoke
our
like
title?
a little kid.
Maybe.
Yeah, please.
He was very bad.
I-
Like, every
Were they
line.
going for that? You know?
Like you could tell she was trying to be bad and really play it up. This guy was just an idiot. Everything he did was stupid. Everything he said was stupid.
Honestly, I feel like they were going for that. Like, I just don't think that it could be that bad by accident. They're like, you're just a bumbling idiot. You're the little brother who doesn't know what he's doing. I think they wanted to go for that. But it wasn't funny or charming or cheeky. It was just aggravating. It's just like, you're not bad or intimidating. And then, boy, does he get his dues.
Yeah, at least he
That
did-
death, my God. I was like, wow.
I knew it.
That was, I knew that something was going to fall. I didn't know the blood was going to splatter on the glass like that. Yeah. But anyway, we get this really, again, story that we don't need about, you know, the pathogen and how they did this and they wronged this other scientist who we meet after, and she was trying to cure her dying brother, and then they were secretly using it to make weapons. It's like, we don't need, there's 3 monsters, that's all I need. Say like a meteor fell from the sky, just something so random, I don't care. But yeah, they really tried to hype up the scientific, and they just kept throwing out scientific jargon. And they're like, and what we did was we created this sonar technology, and it will create this blast that is so many. I'm like, this is just, you might as well just take a bunch of scientific words, put them all in the sentence, and then just say them. Like, they were all just nothingness.
How about the scene leading up to when the sister shows the brother the giant tower, and like the very clear, blatant, stupid like exposition explaining how they're broadcasting the signal, and then they arrive to the tower, and the entire scene is just like, our viewers are stupid, our viewers are stupid, our viewers are stupid, we need to explain all this to them.
And she was like, I did this morning. I'm like, you did this morning? Like, she opened up and like ripped out like this computer panel like perfectly. I'm like, you just did this morning? Like, no.
So, I don't know if you guys noticed this, like, her character, her name's Claire, and her shitty brother is named Brett. Fitting, honestly.
Super fitting.
So fitting. He's such a dorky little loser. Anyway, both her, the cowboy, everybody that was kind of antagonistic-y, like, the cowboy wasn't, but he was at first. They were so video game over the top when this movie was not. It's like they were in on it. All the antagonists and sub-antagonists were in on the comedy of it, the over the topness. Nobody else was.
Yeah,
Right?
I thought, if everything else about this movie was as over the top as the cowboy was, I think I would have liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna be over the like, do it. Don't walk the line. I want it to be, if you want to be ridiculous, be so ridiculous that people are just like, wow, that movie happened. You know what I mean? I need a definitive, just complete over the topness.
So they tried, obviously, with the brother, because his whole character's over the top. But here's a question for anyone: who name an actor who could have done way better than him? You could name probably a million. You could do anyone. Steve Carell from The Office would have been hilarious.
That's all he's from?
What?
Just kidding.
If you got an actor who was a funny actor to play someone who was funny, it would have been funny. I think that's the.
What if Gronkowski?
You are such a New Englander.
Why?
I'm dying on this train alone. I can feel it by all 3
are.
of your eyes. Because if you went over the top stupid, that's Gronk. He wouldn't even try, and it would be mint.
Dennis from It's Always Sunny.
Okay, can we converse to how much money do you think this movie made?
400 million.
Jesus. Well, that's because you're a nerd.
Wow.
I don't
Good job.
No, you got to figure in China. China loves these
Do
pieces
you know how much
of
it was?
shit.
Do you know how much it was? Do you know how much it was made for?
Probably like 150.
He's such a
pretty-
nerd.
Yeah, pretty close.
It was made for 120. It made 380, which is respectable
That movie
Meh.
barely broke even then.
for sure.
Means we're gonna
Yeah.
have a sequel.
No, not with
Well,
these
if we
figures.
do, they'll bring in Ralph the
sequel.
Rat.
What?
Oh, the other monster?
Yeah, you know, the stupid rat from the beginning? They'll have a better one.
Wait. Hold on for a second. Rat from the beginning.
Yeah,
In the spaceship.
yeah. Ralph the Rat.
Oh no.
The fourth unlockable player from the game. They need him.
Mind blown.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
He'll be back.
Nice.
I didn't know.
If you give us a sequel,
Yeah.
it better be what we're describing as over the top.
Just
Yeehaw!
They
ridiculous. Yeah.
Need to
I want.
embrace the silliness.
I want Cowboy coming in on a mutant monster horse. How awesome would that be? That'd be so great. That'd be so great.
I just want the Expendables to come in and beat every single character. Just replace all of them.
Yeah. Who actually is this? Who made this movie? Like what company?
Oh boy. New Line Cinema, Flynn, Wrigley, ASAP, $7 Productions.
Distributed it from Warner
So
Brothers.
much it costs.
Is there any way they could combine this into a cinematic universe with any other big crazy characters?
Wreck-It
Please
Ralph?
no.
Wreck-It Ralph? Yes.
Yes.
Anyway,
Be funny.
No.
originally when I saw the trailers, it looked like, because you guys saw War for the Planet of the Apes, it looked like Winter, the albino ape from War. And I was like, is this some sort of like crossover thing? Like, is he getting huge now? Because I thought Caesar killed him. But yeah, I didn't know. But it would, anyway.
Rabbit hole.
We're going, he gets shot, tranked, he's growing, he's tranked, they put him in the back of the helicopter, and then we get that scene. That scene was kind of fun with the, him, it was a pretty haunting visual of him like fighting the air to like rip his way towards the rock. And I was like, oh, this is visually neat. And then we go back down, and then I just keep calling him the cowboy. What is his name?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That's his real life name.
Yeah.
In the movie, he's
Where'd he go?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan right there as Harvey Russell.
Harvey Russell.
Yeah, Agent Russell. Him and Agent Russell kind of have this thing, and then we get another like, why do you hate people so much? And he's like, well, let me tell you, I've served and I've been in wars and just stuff like that. And they told the story about George, and you get to see little baby George, which was cute. But that's when they said they need to go to Chicago because all of them are going towards this kind of sonar signal that's driving them crazy, and they'll do whatever they can. And that's when we get the military stuff that you were talking about.
Right.
Do you think that the military stuff that was in the movie was a good adaptation of the small subplot stuff that we actually got inside of the game?
Yeah, no, because like I said, like it's so really basic in the game. Like they could have done so much with it, and I just feel like it just fell flat. It was just kind of like, you know, it is any other movie, you know, the same shit. You know, the general wants to pursue. They don't want to. The what's his name? Harvey Russell comes in. Protagonist comes in. Doesn't want to pursue them, obviously wants to try to save them, blah, blah, blah. That's the only thing that we're sitting here talking about that we haven't talked about is the whole military sequences where they're in kind of like the control station and deciding what they want to send out. And I thought that was crap. Forgettable.
Yeah, definitely. You got the tall, strong, black mustache, kind of like, no, I would need a body. And I'm like, okay, you're a general. And then you're a general. It's like, no, I will nuke this my job is to protect the country, and I will kill everybody if I need to. And I'm like, awesome logic.
I don't know why they're so afraid to just create these over-the-top universes in movies like that. I don't know, maybe it doesn't sell, but like, what if they were just like, we're gonna create this world, this fictitious world, like Marvel, where all the people are over the top, and have it like, I don't know why they just didn't go for that, because I would have loved it. You know what I mean?
I mean, the Fast and the Furious franchise is like that.
Yes.
The Rock picks up a bomb and throws it at a submarine.
I've never seen like any of those.
The newer ones are all that matter. Start with The Rock, end with The Rock.
Yeah, when you, because to be honest, that's actually a great franchise to bring up. Those movies aren't great. They're ridiculous. That's what makes them great. Mm-hmm. They're not like, oh yeah, like that's gonna get film of the year. Like it's never ever going to be like that. But you cannot leave those movies and deny that you were thoroughly entertained. Whether it's fight scenes or chase scenes or ridiculous things like cars jumping buildings, cars like paradiving, like out of helicopters with parachutes, like just ridiculous over the top stuff. It's just fun. So if you're gonna do it, go Fast and the Furious with it.
So this is a question, just a general question that I just don't know if anyone knows the answer to. They never made, and this is like a statement question, they never made a Burnout movie, right?
You could argue Fast and the Furious maybe to a degree. But no, it's not like a direct adaptation. I don't know if... Actually,
Do it.
But yeah, I think that's great. Rob, it's such a great... If you made this as ridiculous as Fast and the Furious, it would have been great. Just don't be afraid to go over the top and be crazy.
Yeah, look at that franchise. When did it pick up and start becoming what it is today? Mm-hmm. When they started embracing the stupidity and over-the-top action.
Yeah.
Just, if you're gonna go one way, go that way. Don't try to put all this in it. We want silly sometimes. Really ham it up.
Mm-hmm. When you see The Rock in that movie and he's just like clotheslining people and just like jumping, flying Superman punches, just so ridiculous. I mean, wrestling. You know what I mean?
Out of a cast and walks.
Yes. he there's this one scene, if you haven't seen it, he's like got a broken arm. He's like, Daddy's gotta go to work. And he goes, Gah! And he breaks out of his cast, his broken arm, and it's just completely fine because he's The Rock and he's epic. You know what I mean?
Immune to atrophy.
And then he just comes in and
Wasn't even in it long enough.
what does he say? Do you got the cavalry? He goes, woman, I am the cavalry. And he has this giant machine gun and he goes, brings down a helicopter like, yeah. I'm like, this is so ridiculous. It's so great. Again, yeah, I think that's a great point. But then we get to Act 3. We get the big sequence. They're destroying the city, and they're infiltrating the evil corporation. Energen. They're infiltrating Energen. The Claire and Brett are waiting there for them
alone.
And I loved when he was like, "You're gonna go now," and he's like, "I'm not doing that." And he goes, "Like, I got a gun, dude. Like, come on, you gotta do what I say." And Claire was like, "I'll take that." Boom. Then he was fine because he's The Rock. He was just fine because he was The Rock. And he falls. They go up. George just starts beating the crap out of this top thing, and they end up stealing some of the cure. And this was cool, but it looked really fake. Rob, what did you think of
when she was eaten?
Oh, the nice drop into the mouth?
That was the biggest play to the video game in the whole movie. That one scene, because when you punch the window, you'd grab the person, you drop them in your mouth just like that. It looked horrible, but I mean, she had it coming to her. I liked it.
I felt so proud because I was like, thank you, just own the murder. Just own it twice fold. And that's why I really loved when Blake, what's his name? Brett, when Brett Blake, Puss Boy, when the rock hit him, not okay. Damn it! Why is he gonna be called the Rock in this movie? When whatever the part of the building fell on him in the front of the building, I was so that was the happiest I was the whole movie, and then when she got eaten was the happiest I was in that movie again, because they just owned it.
If they made this rated R and just made it gory as expletive, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
it
can
would've-
you imagine just the gorilla just going around like biting people in half? That would be amazing.
Yeah.
You know, did you guys see Kong Island?
Yeah.
So, that movie wasn't rated R, was it? No. That movie was a great example of how, because this is, that was a Pacific Rim situation where it's like, yeah, the movie wasn't that great, but those fight scenes were so much fun. Like, it was just fun to watch. This is what I really was hoping for, something like Kong Island in this movie. And I remember even in another King Kong movie where he fights the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
The Peter Jackson one.
Goes over, opens his mouth, and bites his tongue off. Like, stuff like that is when I'm like, oh my God, this is insanity, you know? It could have really got some fight choreography from Kong Island, and some gore would have been really cool.
Plus, like I said, this is based on a 2D side scroller that the people who played this game are now like older than me. Like, I was lucky enough to I grew up with an Intellivision, so like I was playing all these old games. I had Super Nintendo, Intellivision, Sega Genesis. So I was playing like all these old 2D side scrollers, but most of the audience is like 30, 40, even 50 years old now. Like, they want to see like the Rampage they used to play. Like, This is a game that people used to play that their parents wouldn't let them. Like, for example, when I was a kid, GoldenEye was that game. My babysitter brought it over, and I played GoldenEye. So it was pretty awesome. But you know what I mean, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, when you gotta know. I mean, you look at the Harry Potter franchise, and the Harry Potter franchise not only followed the actors the entire way until they got older, but they followed the fans until they got older. And the first one was this kind of like, you're a wizard, Harry, and magic and things and because we were all like, what, 11, you know? And then it kept going and kept going and kept going, and by the time we're 16, 17, 18 years old, the movies actually had a dark, serious tone, with more serious plot lines. Like, when we started getting interested in girls was when Hermione ended up becoming attractive, and everyone and Ron and her had their little thing. Like, it echoed exactly what we were feeling as the movies progressed. And I think that's one of the reasons why it was so powerful and successful, is because they followed it, and when we ended up becoming interested in different, more serious things, the movies did the same exact thing.
I appreciate that, because that's so underlooked in a lot of media, and that's so rare that something can come out and follow you as you grow too. This happens with very few bands. This happens with Harry Potter. This happens with Toy Story. God, I can't wait for a new Toy Story. But this happens with like very niche things, and that's just so underappreciated.
Yeah, when you have, I mean, it even happened with, I remember, did anyone ever play Jack and Daxter on the PlayStation? I loved Jack and Daxter, and Jack 2, holy crap, I loved Jack 2. And it got more serious because by the time that came out, I was 14. And when Jack was like, where the hell am I? I was like, oh my God, he's saying hell. I say hell now because I'm older now. Like, it became more serious as you became more serious. And 100%, like, no 11-year-old is going to be like, oh my God, Rampage, I'm dying to see this. Obviously, I think any child would see like giant monsters and think it was cool. But people who got pumped for Rampage are definitely adults, like 18 plus. Like, I don't know. I remember playing Rampage in the arcade, and I'm only 25. You know what I mean? So I know it's like 30s, 40s, and 50s because this game has been around for a while. But
whoever produced this, I have a feeling that this might have been like a higher up decision. There's just an out of touch decision, like we talk about often. in that someone probably came up with the idea, like, let's do Rampage, like, we got the rights, like, let's do Rampage, let's do it bloody, let's do it gory. Someone at the studio probably said, well, it's younger kids that are going to the movies now, so they really want to see things like Pacific Rim. They really want to see monsters fighting each other like Transformers. They don't really, I mean, we for most audiences, we should go PG, which I think it was PG-13. But that, I think, was a serious misstep with this one.
So, fun story. The producer has produced a lot of trash, Baywatch. But, truthfully, he also did Hansel and Gretel, The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
That's the one with Jeremy Renner, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the
The
new
Hansel and
one.
Gretel one?
Yeah.
I liked that.
Even the
It
directors.
knew what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't trying to be amazing. It was just ridiculous.
And
I
this-
enjoyed the ridiculousness. It wasn't a piece of art, but it
So-
was crazy.
So that producer essentially specializes in, like, basically taking things that are nostalgic and making them accessible to every age group,
I don't know if that's true.
more or less. I don't know if
He did Bubble Boy, for Christ's sakes.
He did Bubble Boy.
He did Bubble. He's been rocking this since '96.
That's just odd.
So he's got a vast selection. When we pop over to Brad Payton, he's known for San Andreas, Cats and Dogs: The Revenge of Kitty Galore,
What else?
Evelyn.
Journey to Mysterious Island.
That nothing.
So a bunch of the Rock movies.
I still think they're largely all trash movies. No offense.
He did Ted.
Still trash
San
movies.
Oh no, he
San
didn't do
Andreas
Ted. He
is
didn't do
alright.
Ted. I'm sorry. He did some short named Ted. He's done nothing. Truthfully, the producer, yeah, he's gone ham.
Yeah. We get to the ending. The ending is we get this giant stab right through the eye. Well, first I thought he was totally gonna be dead when he threw a grenade in like his gills or whatever those were. It looked like gills to me.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be dead, but nope. That was kind of the whole thing with the monsters. It's like they were dead, but then they weren't, and then they were dead, and then they weren't, and then they were dead, and then they weren't. Even The Rock, that monster too. He was dead, and then he wasn't. It was just the whole thing. I loved when they crashed the plane, and I forget the woman's name, but she was like, "I can't believe we survived that." And I'm just like, everyone in the theater, right there, like,
Wait.
you're right.
The helicopter?
The helicopter
The
crash, yeah.
ridiculous. Okay, that's where, like, I think the movie was like, all right. Yeah. Like let's just give them something that can't happen.
Yeah.
Ever.
I can't believe we survived that. It's like, yeah, you and me both, sister. But we got the epic stab. That was like the only part of the movie that actually wasn't in the trailer. Oh, the eating. There was a couple of scenes, but that was the big moment when he was about to kill him. I had no idea what was actually going to happen in that moment. Spear right through the. I actually got a little. I was like, oh my god, when he got like a pipe through his chest. I was like, whoa! I was not expecting a pipe through the chest. And then I think that he used that same exact thing to stab the crocodile.
That would make sense.
He died. They had a genuinely touching moment. I was surprised that it got me, and I was like, a dying fist bump, like a fist bump in death. I'm like, oh, sad. Still didn't touch the damn egg because it wasn't real. Like I could tell they didn't touch. But then he came over and was like, I'm sorry. He's like, he saved my life. I was like, God damn, he did. And then they have this banter back and forth like, did you just open your eye? Evan, did you think that was funny, or did you wish he stayed dead?
I thought it was funny. Some of it was funny. Like, when it started, it wasn't funny. But then when it started going into, like, making fun of him and, like, the obvious, like, the sex joke, I thought was pretty funny. I liked the idea of, like, the whole idea of playing off The Rock to be, like, this really, like introverted and, like basically, like, I mean, I don't know if he's a virgin or if he's just, like, I don't do people, you know? Not, I don't
Literally.
do people, but,
Literally.
like, yeah.
But yeah, no. Rob, what did you think of that? Do you wish he stayed dead, or did you like the fake out?
I mean, it got a genuine laugh from me afterwards with the sex joke. So I mean, kind of glad he didn't die. Plus, it's how they're gonna make a sequel.
Sure, yeah.
If it makes money, one of them is gonna be alive.
Do
Just-
they?
What?
Yeah,
How are they bringing back the other ones, or are they just making new ones?
new ones. Probably.
New,
Hey.
better designed ones.
Why are we hoping for a sequel?
Because the Rock's
Because it
gonna
could
be
be
in
better.
It probably won't be.
It probably won't be, but sometimes they are.
Hmm.
Do you like that he came back to life, or do you wish he stayed dead?
It ruined me, so I kind of wish he stayed dead. But honestly, yeah, he probably should have came back because that also was he was dead just long enough for me to expect him to stay dead, which made me feel complacent in his death. And then he came back, and it made me feel really uncomplacent in his death, and really happy he was back. That was like probably the strongest emotional pull I've ever felt in this whole movie. I worded that so poorly. This is the strongest I've ever felt in this movie. Oh god, this movie just.
Yeah, I liked the death scene. I forgot that the rest of the movie was bad. I was like, oh, George, damn, George, you goddamn little, you did it. You saved the day. You gave him a fist bump, and you died with honor. And then you did this, and then you did this, and I was just like, it's fine. It's fine. It wasn't. I did one of these. I wasn't like, heh, like I didn't think it was actually funny, but I was like, all right, I guess that's within his character because he was kind of a total like the most bro ape. You'd be like, yeah, like just super bro about things. You can't get an ape to do that. He wouldn't do it. I don't know. If the movie was more over the top, I'd believe it. But they tried to be like super realistic about like his signing and stuff. And I'm like, no, if he's gonna be a ridiculous signing ape, just have him be like,
The Rock knows a lot of things.
he knows a lot of things.
He's very experienced.
in many walks of life. What's going
Did
on
you
with this?
guys know the other monsters had names too?
What are
Yeah.
they?
No.
The the Godzilla like dinosaur lizard is named Lizzie.
Yeah.
Nice.
You might have known that. I did not know that. And the werewolf's name's Ralph.
Ralph.
They did say that.
Those are from the.
When?
And the news sequence, they were the stupid news sequence. They said there's this basically they were talking about this biogenetically wolf. They're calling him. Some fans are calling him Ralph, and like I didn't know that was actually from Rampage, which makes sense because it's a stupid name.
I don't think they actually ever say their names in the movies.
No, they
but those
do.
are their.
I swear on my life.
Do they?
In the newscast. They play the news footage of the wolf just
Oh.
like destroying everything in the forest.
I might have fallen asleep.
I think they said Lizzie too, but I can't remember where.
Yeah, because those are their names in the game.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't go know that far into it.
Do you want to know another weird fact about the game since we're going on this weird rampage? Each monster can only hold one type of person. George can hold a woman, Lizzie can hold a middle-aged man, and Ralph can only hold businessmen.
Interesting.
I'm looking at like the gameplay notes of the game. If they kind of follow this a little more literally, this could have been a really funny movie. By the over-the-topness of just the lizard just going like, oh, money.
Theoretically,
But
they're no children could ever be held by a monster.
yeah.
Like
When
a
it's-
newscast, just picture like oh this alligator monster creature, he's killing everybody but only businessmen.
Yeah.
What will Wall Street do?
Well, yeah, like, why? We must figure out why they have this fetish with businessmen. If you didn't know, I thought it was a cute little thing on the pan out. George helped like a guy down from a thing, and he got on so willingly. I was just surprised that he
That's
would have
not-
been like, yeah, no, I'll get on you, giant gorilla. He would have been like, oh my god, no, you just murdered so many people. I'm not getting in your hand so you can crush me to death.
That's
I
also
thought of that too, but I let it go in passing just because.
It is noteworthy, I guess.
I didn't know that then, but now that I know that George could only hold women, that's also just not canon to the game.
It's not, you know what? It's bullshit.
Like, no other monster held anybody. Did they even play the game when they made this movie?
You know what I really would have liked?
What happened?
If there was someone playing the game in the movie, it would have been a really cool, thing. I think I mentioned this, like, I love when there's film in film.
Yeah.
This would have been a really cool thing if, maybe really quickly they were, the alligator was stomping on an arcade. There was a Dave & Buster's. You remember he pulled the thing off the Dave & Buster's? What if he pulled the thing off Dave & Buster's and there was someone playing Rampage, cut to inside, and they just go, and they see the real thing, and you look down and he's playing the game. Like, that would have been so fun.
I would have went one further and opened an establishing shot in an arcade of a little boy playing Rampage, and then we go into the screen and it becomes the real city and steps on the arcade that the boy's in.
Filmmaker right here.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Except
Evan's
nobody
gotta do
pays
this.
me.
Evan's got to do the sequel.
Because he kills kids.
Nice. But yeah, no, I thought that would have been really cool. But yeah, I like the establishing shot, you playing the game, and then everyone's like, oh, it's the game. Oh my god, look at that, it's cool.
Jesus, Bill
And
Cosby.
then we're friending. I like a pudding pop. And
Yeah, own it. I just own it.
and then yeah, I own it. I embrace the crazy, unlike this movie. But bringing it down, Rob, what would you give this movie letter grade?
It was bad, but I finished it.
Sure.
So probably like D+, C-.
Okay.
I didn't want to like get up and walk out at any point while watching it.
Okay. Evan.
I'm going to give it a D, and my main reason for giving it a D is, well, it was awful, but I still didn't give an F or a D- because I think that The Rock's one-liners kind of saved it. It was still kind of at least had a storyline and did give me a couple things, like the monkey was good, George was good. Didn't like the other two Rampage characters. One thing that really bothered me throughout the movie, though, is the fact that going through the movie, like this is a movie based on a 2D side-scroller, as I keep mentioning, we really don't get into like the monsters destroying the city, which is the point of the game, till like the third quarter of the movie. And then it's really kind of just like them reaching this tower and kind of just hitting this tower until, the tower comes down. So,
D. Justin.
Definitely piggyback off Evan's point that maybe if the movie was, and I'll give my grade in a second, I think if the movie was exactly like the game, it would have to do all the tropes we said it have to do. Like, it has to be over the top funny, it has to be real stupid. But it would truly be an hour 45 of just Hulk smash windows in. And maybe that would have got boring too. Like, it definitely needed a plot. It just didn't need to set the plot up for the entire movie to, when it ended, didn't need a plot. Nobody shrunk, just things died.
I think the ratio needed to switch. Like they focused on the human element and they had a little bit of the monsters. Focus on the monster element and give us a small amount of the human.
Yeah, I didn't need the human element at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't pertinent to the...
But if it was there for 10%, I feel like everyone would have been fine with it.
If it set up the plot enough to get us to why they exist, cool. And then the second half of the movie should have just been, they exist, shit. And that would have been great.
I know we're closing this out, but like, what if they didn't take like the biologist or whatever, like what if they didn't take like the management point of view of like the scenario, let's solve this. What if they took it from like just like everyday person in the city and this thing's happening, like Cloverfield. Like we're just in this and then we figure it out as we go. And then we can kind of have a little bit more of a horror element in there, because it would be actually pretty terrifying to just have it from the point of view and you're seeing these creatures.
Yeah.
The rate in which we talk about Cloverfield, that needs to happen someday. But this is the second time I mentioned that because I really need to talk about Paradox one day.
I'll ask you for a second time.
What's the score?
Rate the movie.
Damn movie is probably a C for me just because it was a car fire, but it didn't blow up. Does that make sense?
No, I think it makes sense. Like you were running away from it, but it was a dud.
I was like neck deep in my phone just being like, who can I talk to for a good portion of this movie? Because it was us and somebody behind us, and that was the whole theater, fortunately. So I didn't care that I was texting. Screw you, AMC. I said it. Keep Movie Pass alive.
So, a D?
C.
C.
Yeah, C.
Okay.
I don't even want to give it a half a C. Like, it production-wise was good. It just wasn't
A half a C?
C minus.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
half
why.
a C. That's weird. That's fun.
Jeez.
Half C now.
I would call this movie passable garbage. I I'd say it was about as good as the Power Ranger movie.
Which one?
You thought it was better? I don't know, man. I would give this a D+ or a C-. There were moments where I was like, oh, fun, I'm totally into this, and then that was like 10% of it, and the rest of it I'm just like, this is bad. I liked Cowboy and I liked the ending, and that's pretty much it. So that's my 2 cents.
There was one point when we were on the roof where George threw some character off, like straight off the roof.
Yeah.
I thought it was Russell, and I was dying, and then I realized it wasn't. But
It's just some extra.
funny little story.
Some extra. But no, yeah, I liked that too. He just went like a mile
Yeah.
across the city. But yeah. So that'll wrap up Rampage. I don't know what we're doing next, but we're going to post something next. And if you disagree with us or you agree with us, we want to know. What did you think? Did you grow up playing Rampage? And did you think this movie did it justice? We want to know. Let us know in the comments. And we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.